A court-appointed doctor is expected to testify tomorrow that the biological mother, Regina Twigg, has psychological problems. Well, twins who don't look alike aren't too unusual, but ones born almost 3 weeks apart certainly are. A Morristown, New Jersey woman went into labor 4 months early when her amniotic fluid sac broke. Spencer was born July 14th as a result, but doctors were afraid this.
He says the U.S. will make an appropriate response. Caracas, Venezuela is picking up after Tropical Storm Brett triggered mudslides with heavy rains and high winds. At least 99 people were killed and hundreds more injured. Brett is expected within hours in northern Colombia. Power and water service are being restored in Guam a day after the U.S. territory was jarred by a massive earthquake. Assessment teams are taking stock of the damage. The Mile High City is soon going to be the center of international attention. President Clinton will greet Pope John Paul II in Denver Thursday as he attends the first World Youth Day to be held in the U.S. One of hundreds of thousands making the trip stopped at the Mother Cabrina Shrine west of Denver Sunday. John Eric Thompson has walked all the way from San Francisco.
Sign me up for the Christian Jubilee. Ride my day.
Also in Denver for the Pontiff's visit, the Notre Dame Choir. They'll be performing all week long. Thanks for joining us. I'm Catherine Calloway, and CNN Sports Late Night is just ahead.
The tents are going up. The prices are coming down. Presenting the Firecracker 500. Town & Country Chrysler Plymouth, Town & Country Mitsubishi, Riverside Jeep Eagle. 3 of the Northwest's biggest car dealers bring you the biggest sales event in their history. Over $10 million of inventory. Choose from Chryslers, Plymouths, Jeeps, Eagles, Mitsubishis, quality used cars, and more. An event so big we couldn't keep it under our roofs. You could save thousands. Look for the tents on McLaughlin and hurry to the Firecracker 500 at Town & Country and Riverside on McLaughlin in Milwaukee.
In the future, real food is going to be rare. Instead, we'll eat synthetic duplicates. Seaweed, plankton, processed to look like the food we eat today. That sandwich, it'll be krill. You'll get used to it.
There's always been speculation over how we'll live in the future. Speculation over how we'll communicate, however, has been put to rest.
Say, listen, do you want to stay for dinner?
This is CNN.
This is a presentation of CNN Sports.
CNN Sports wraps up your weekend in style, bringing the pennant chase right into your home. And there's lots of other good legwork going on, too. Like in the NFL. Time for San Francisco to scramble. A key injury already in this young season. It's a birdbath atop the AL East. The Orioles soaring, while the Brewers going up and chin on the Blue Jays. In Arlington, the M's hearing it from the ump. Everybody get out. For Barry Bonds, it's another one that got away. The Braves need the holy help. We're spinning all the hits and then following up on them as well. So you better strap in for yet another wild Sunday ride.
And we are belted in. Thanks for joining us. I'm Paul Crane.
And I'm Tom Kirkland, and I'll tell you, the folks in San Francisco, the 49ers, just thanking their lucky stars that they have an experienced backup in Steve Bono right now.
Right. You got that right. And it's not so much if you win or lose in the preseason, but who you might lose. A year ago, 49er quarterback Steve Young won the MVP award, then became the league's most valuable with his new 5-year, almost $27 million deal. But after Sunday's preseason game with the Raiders, Young may or may not be around on opening day. Playing the Raiders Sunday afternoon, Steve Young early on, the incomplete pass, but he banged his left hand on the helmet of linebacker Aaron Wallace. He broke the thumb, stuck around for 4 plays, then took a hike. And in came Steve Bono, who's already proven he can back up, and he may have to prove some more. Here he is, finding old reliable. That's Jerry Rice with a tightrope act in the back of the end zone. That's the touchdown, 17-0 lead, 27-0 win. But Young's injury now has the Niners wondering if he'll be thumbs up or thumbs down for opening day.
He broke the, what we call the distal phalanx. You think of it as the tip of his thumb. It doesn't require surgery. It's going to be in a splint for a while. He possibly would play the first regular season game, and that isn't for sure.
I'm not concerned at all. You know, I've got my 3 or 4 weeks in here, and now I can just turn to the mental aspects. It might be the perfect combination for preseason. Really, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Out 3 to 4 weeks, and there's a big difference between the two since opening day is 4 weeks away. We'll have more NFL preseason action later in the show.
On to baseball. A week ago, Baltimore's O's were in the throes of the woes, falling 5 games behind the front-running Blue Jays in 4th place. But then Milwaukee and Cleveland came to town, and abracadabra Oriole magic happened at Camden Yards. Sunday's win gave Baltimore 7 in a row, and incredibly, all of them come from behind specials. Early on, the Indians threatening. Runners at second and third. Albert Bell has ideas about a 3-run homer off Jamie Moyer. But Mark McLemore's incredible play continues. Hit it here, rob it here. McLemore robs him of a 3-run home run, but nonetheless a rare 2-run sacrifice fly for Bell as Wayne Kirby hustles on home. 2-0 Indians. Bottom of the first, McLemore cuts that in half. Boy, is he having a season. The solo shot, 2-1 Cleveland. 6th inning, we're tied to 2 runners on the corners, and Carlos Martinez with the bloop bid for a base hit. Harold Reynolds doing the pretty work in short right. 8th inning, 5-3 Cleveland. Derek Lilliquist trying to nail it. Mark Parent last week at this time, he was in Rochester, but Chris Hoyles got hurt. Up he comes. 3-run home run just like that. 6-5 Orioles. Top of the 9th, Greg Olson trying to nail it down. Sandy Alomar's been on fire since coming off the DL. Another RBI. Thomas Howard scores. We're tied at 6. Bottom of the 11th, Mark McLemore on third. Here's the play. Mike Devereaux with the bid for a sacrifice fly. McLemore's in, and look at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Are going crazy. Yet another come-from-behind win. McLemore continues to be the O's MVP. 7 hits in the past 2 games against the Tribe. From here, Johnny Oates' guys head to Detroit for 4, and then the Big Apple for 3 next weekend with the Yankees. A good time to head out of town. The O's have the best record in the East against Eastern Division teams. Since late May, this is baseball's best team, and I spoke of the journeyman McLemore. Only 40 multi-hit games this season. Could Milwaukee tighten things up even more in the East? Trying to make it 2 out of 3 in Skydome, and Greg Vaughn. Talk about 2 out of 3. He had 2 homers. This is his first off Pat Henkin. 1-0 Brewers. Ricky Bonas, his first career complete game. Look out. Up and chin to Tony Fernandez. That'll teach him. Now, Bonas on the money with the fastball. Ricky Henderson frozen. Get out, Ricky. Then, Greg Vaughn again, teeing off. There's the swing that does it. Just grooving. Left fielder doesn't even bother to look. 4-1 Brewers on the way to a 5-2 win. As I mentioned, Bonas' first ever career complete game in the American League. The Brewers hoping to avoid becoming the 6th team in baseball history to fall from winning 90 to losing 90 the next season. They'll need to go 29-23 from here on out to avoid that. Toronto's just a game up on the O's, Red Sox, and Yankees.
The Red Sox ran into a former teammate and one of his new friends in Detroit. Left-hander Tom Bolton, the former Red Socker who looked more like Cy Young, and his friend Cecil Fielder, who looked like Cecil Fielder. Sparky Anderson knows what Cecil can do. Hit it over there, then hit it over the fence over there. So Cecil does it. Bottom of the 2nd inning. Oh, that one won't be playable unless you're sitting in the upper deck. The solo shot gives the Tigers a 1-0 lead. It's 2-0 Tigers when Cecil bats in the bottom of the 7th with 2 on. And he goes the other way. That won't be playable either. Home runs number 27 and 28 for Big Cess in this game. A 5-0 Tiger lead on the way to a 5-1 win. Tigers starter Tom Bolton allowed just 1 run in 8+ innings of work as the Red Sox ended their 13-game road trip 7-6. The Sox stay 1 game behind Toronto. The Yankees in Minnesota, top of the 6th inning. Don Mattingly and the Yankees trailing 1-0 until Mattingly goes the other way. Up the left center gap, both Spike Owen and Deion James score, and the Yankees trailing 1-0 turns into a 2-1 lead. 4-1 lead in the bottom of the 7th when Gene Larkin turns on this one, and that goes over the baggies and everything else out in right field. The 3-run shot ties the game 4-4. This one would go to extra innings tied 6-6. When Mattingly would take care of that in the top of the 10th, just over the baggie out there in right field, a 2-run shot yanks up 8-6. They win 8-6 and avoided a 3-game sweep. The Yankees now 1 game behind the Jays as well, and they head on to Boston for a series with the Red Sox.
It was just last week that Blackjack McDowell grinned wide when his Chi Sox traded for Tim Belcher. Quote, "If we can stay on this roll, we could run away with this thing." This thing, of course, is the Wild Western Division, but 10 days later, forget running away with it. The White Sox are still in the thick of the sauce. The Angels beat him again Sunday. Early on, Tim Salmon singles to shallow right center. Luis Poloni is in. It's 1-0 Angels. Mark Langston pitched a great game, a 4-hitter for as long as he was out there. Frank Thomas had ideas about a home run, but Chad Curtis plays denial out there against the big blue wall. The Sox tied the game in the fourth. Ellis Burke singles to right. Joey Cora rounds third, doesn't know that the play is cut off, and look at Joey crash across home, tied at 1. Angels up 2-1 in the ninth, 2 on, 2 out. Ron Karkovice, Mike Butcher sends him packing. Ends the game for the Angels. The Sox have now lost 4 out of 5 and now lead the second-place Royals by only 3.5 games. Langston's wearing out the Sox this season. 3 of his 12 wins on the season have come against Gene Lamont's guys. Could the Rangers climb to within 3.5 as well? Well, I already told you they did. Gary Redus singles up the middle. Ken Griffey Jr. charges the ball and comes up empty. Oh, Griff, his first error in 236 games. Now, Lou Piniella chase for arguing balls and strikes. A little while later, Juan Gonzalez takes Randy Johnson deep, his 33rd homer of the year. 3-0 Texas. Next batter, Julio Franco. Let's see what RJ's going to do. He plunks him, and then he gets run, and he just tell it walking. Big problems here. Brad Holman pitching to Mario Diaz, and look out. Ouch. Holman is hit in the face by this Diaz single. Holman carried from the field. He was conscious and not bleeding. Gee, first Bob Welsh on Saturday, and now the next day, Brad Holman goes down. Ooh, it looks like he's okay, though. Griff Jr.'s 32nd home run avoids the shutout. Texas back to within 3.5. From here, the M's head to KC for 3. The Rangers host the Angels Tuesday, a 3-game series. And at Royal Stadium, the Royals slip past the A's to move within 3.5 as well. Montgomery's 34th save leads the American League. KC hosts Seattle this week and then goes to Chicago next weekend for a huge series with the White Sox. The Wild Wild West continues. 3 teams within 3.5. The White Sox holding court right now.
And that would be the race if it weren't for the American League East. 4 teams all within 1 game of each other. If this thing can only stay that way through the month of September, baseball could be sitting pretty.
And speaking of the month of September, at the end of September, the Orioles host the Blue Jays 4 games at Camden Yard. Could be a hell of a series.
Could be, if they even play in September. We'll talk more about that later. We've got more baseball still ahead. Yes, the National League will be next, including the Giants, doing something they haven't done in quite a while. Houston turned into disastros for San Francisco, and we'll head to the stick in just a moment.
And then we'll go back to the NFL preseason. Dave Wannstedt's first game as the Chicago Bears' new head coach and the former Cowboys defensive coordinators getting his message across. Hit everything that moves. Ouch. And more coming up.
This is a line. To some, it is seen as a barrier. To others, it's a point where traditions of the past are abandoned in favor of visions of the future. Introducing the revolutionary new Toyota Supra. It's taken everything sports cars were before and crossed the line.
T-Plus engine treatment is made with tough DuPont Teflon, the same coating as on Mother's frying pan. Nothing sticks. This, on the other hand, is an unprotected engine. When you start your engine, metal grinds on metal. But add T-Plus once, and tough DuPont Teflon coats every valve guide, cylinder wall, bearing, and cam, reducing engine wear for up to 50,000 miles. Now you're cooking. Beat the daily grind, add T-Plus. The T is for Teflon.
In the National League West, it's been a season where almost everything has gone the Giants' way. And even when it doesn't, it does. Case in point, a struggling Houston team spent the weekend at the Stick, where the Giants lost 2 in a row for the first time in almost 2 months, but all told didn't lose any ground. Brian Hickerson on the mound looking at Jeff Bagwell, then looking deep to left field where Superman needs to fly, but Barry Bonds can't quite get up that high. It's a home run for Bagwell and a 1-0 lead for the Astros. 2-1 in the bottom of the 5th, 2 out, bases loaded for Will Clark against Mark Portugal, and Portugal needs some help. Deep to left field, and Luis Gonzalez runs it down. Clark and the Giants are thwarted. Ken Caminiti then, he thinks he's got a base hit the other way, but Superman pulls out the cape on that one and takes it away. Still 2-1 Astros to the top of the 8th inning, when Steve Finley turns on the Jeff Brantley pitch, and that one is gone. A solo shot off the fair pole makes it 3-1 Astros en route to a 4-1 win. Mark Portugal won his 5th in a row, raised his career record against the Giants to an impressive 10-3, all of which gave the Braves a second straight chance to get back the game they lost in the standings Friday. How many times after an error have you seen a player look in his glove like there's a hole in it or something? Well, Mark Lemke did have a hole in his glove on that error. And look at the trainer. He says, take the catcher's mitt and mask. 1 on in the bottom of the 5th, tied 1-1 for Ron Gant, and Jeff Becerra would like that pitch back. The 2-run shot, home run number 27 for Gant, and a 3-1 lead for the Braves. 3-2, top of the 9th. Greg McMichael trying to save it. David Justice trying to end it. And Justice takes it away. That's the ball game. The nice catch. 3-2, Braves win it. Gant knocked in all 3 Atlanta runs. The Braves avoided the 3-game sweep, but all told, they also avoided the opportunity to move closer to the Giants, back to within 8.5 today, but they were within 7.5 last Sunday. The Reds in Los Angeles, 1-0 Dodgers, bottom of the 3rd, when Eric Karros adds to that. He hits the 3-run shot off Larry Lubers, home run number 14 for Karros, a 4-0 lead for the Dodgers. It would become 5-0 before the Reds come back. 5-4, bottom of the 5th, bases loaded. Greg Tubbs, grounder. Corey Snyder can't handle it. 2 runs come in to score. Reds lead 6-5. They get 4 unearned runs in the 5th inning and win 8-5. Cincinnati reliever Johnny Ruffin made his major league debut when he pitched a scoreless 5th. Then the Reds took the lead, so he got the win. And for everyone who thought the Rockies would never win again, they have. Mo Sanford threw 7 strong innings, and Charlie Hayes helped them with a pair of doubles. Colorado's 13-game losing streak hit rock bottom.
The Philadelphia Phillies seem to be sitting pretty atop the East these days. A win against the Teal Snappers in Florida tonight would give Jim Fragosi's troops a 7.5-game bulge on the second-place Cardinals, but not to be. Benito Santiago takes Terry Mulholland out, part of a 4-run second inning. The Marlins pulled to within 3-2 after this one. Same inning after Florida tied it at 3. Henry Cotto connects for a 2-run homer. Marlins led it 5-3. Where's the power coming from? Bottom of the 4th, Brett Barbary gets the Marlins' 3rd homer of the game, and that is a team record. 6-4 Florida on the way to a 6-5 win. The Marlins take 2 out of 3 from the Phillies. This is a team that's last in the bigs in home runs with 67. Charlie Huff's first win over Phillies since the 1976 season. Of course, he spent most of the last 17 seasons in the other league. The Cubs hurt the Cards at Busch. Mark Grace, show us that swing. Ooh, very sweet. 1-0 Cardinals. Top of the 3rd, 2 outs. Ray Sanchez, sinking liner. Bernard Gilkey normally makes this play, but he cannot squeeze it. And Donovan Osborne then gives up another single and a walk, and with the bases loaded, high to Sammy Sosa. Ray Sanchez is in, ties the game up at 1. Top of the 6th, 2 outs. Cards walk Steve Lake intentionally and Sammy Sosa. Second to get to Greg Hibbert, and this is a first for this guy. This is not what Joe Torre figured would beat them, but it does. Hibbert with the 2-run double, with the 1-run double. Didn't matter. It gave him a 2-1 lead, and they go on to win it in 3 years of futility with the Lumber. Hibbert went his first 37 big league at-bats without finding a base hit. Donovan Osborne offered this keen insight to his pitch. Quote, I threw him a fastball inside, and he hit it. Pittsburgh knocked Frank Tanana around in the 5th at Shea Stadium. 4 straight singles. Jeff King had 4 RBI in Saturday's doubleheader. 1 right there. Breaks the tie, 3-2 Buccos. 3-2 Bucks, bottom of the 9th. Eddie Murray, who had earlier hit a solo home run off Smith, his last at bat. Eddie, just get out. 1 of 9 for Zane Smith. It looks like he's just about back from all of his injury problems. Smith rang up a season-high 9 strikeouts. It's his first complete game in 13 months. Certainly good news for the Pirates' future. Meantime, Tanana's lost 7 of his last 8 decisions. Paul?
Major League Baseball owners get together in Wisconsin on Wednesday and Thursday for what National League President Bill White says could be the most important meeting in the history of baseball. The owners plan to discuss revenue sharing and a possible salary cap for players. It's the cap which has the players talking about a possible strike, perhaps around Labor Day, before the owners collect about $250 million in TV revenue for the playoffs and World Series. The current collective bargaining agreement runs out at the end of the year, and while the owners chose to officially reopen talks last December, the union is still waiting for some sort of discussion. Players Association Chief Donald Fair says without movement toward a new agreement, a strike might be the players' only leverage. We have certainly seen it happen more than once, and the scariest thing for fans could be new owners negotiator Richard Ravitch saying he thinks the union is bluffing. We've still got football and golf, and that's no bluff. Wait till you see what happened to Fuzzy Zeller's 4-shot lead. It's probably still a little fuzzy to him, but we'll clear things up in just a moment.
Hey, if you thought a dollar didn't go far these days, check out the huge Ace Dollar Day sale.
Glue and gloves.
Bags.
And bulbs. Cords and coffee filters.
And more for just $1
Each.
It goes to show you, Ace is America's place for better value. Hey, there's still more room back there.
This was the first engine treatment. But now there's a superior choice. T+ engine treatment. Here's why. PTFE. The stuff that virtually eliminates engine wear. T Plus has 50% more, and T Plus uses the best DuPont Teflon. Yet, despite these amazing advantages, T Plus actually costs less than... Go on, check the price yourself. You'll choose T Plus.
Hi, this is Larry King back in Washington next week with Interior Secretary Bruce Babbitt talking about the floods and should John Demjanjuk be allowed back in the United States. Larry King Live weeknights 9 Eastern on CNN.
Back to the pig pen for more NFL preseason stuff. Craig Ironhead Hayward, the new Bear. How about Craig Iron Hands Hayward at the goal line? Oh, it's the preseason. Dave Wannstedt will forgive him right now. It's August. Meantime, also preseason for the refs. Look out, 71. You get in the way, you're going to get turf, pal. After a Curtis Conway fumble, Bubby Brister led Philly on a 50-yard drive, capped by Von Hebron's 1-yard run. Good style. Philly wins a field goal fest over the Bears. The Lions and Super Bowl champion Cowboys fit to be tied in London. Fourth quarter, Cowboys up 13-6 until the Lions storm in. Kevin Scott, pleased to be in the right place, scoops up the block punt, and the light is green. 34 yards for the tying TD. After overtime, the Brits witnessed another football tie, thanks to Lynn Elliott's 3 missed field goals in the overtime. Paul?
When the final round of the Buick Open started, Fuzzy Zoeller had a 4-shot lead in search of his first win since 1986. But after just 5 holes, it was gone, as Larry Mize was the one who decided it was he who would really rather win the Buick. Zoeller and Mize were tied by the time they both got to number 12. This is Fuzzy with a birdie putt for sole possession of the lead. Not quite. He stayed at 14 under. Greg Norman birdied the first 5 holes on the backside, 7 of the 9 overall. Here's his approach to number 18. That would be another bird. A 29 on the backside for the Shark. He shot 7 under 65. Larry Mize, the birdie shot at 16. He'd get a 2-shot lead by sinking the bird, but Zoeller decides at 17 he's going to put the pressure on. Look at this for birdie at 17. The Fuzz drains it and pulls back within 1. He'd par the final hole, which means Mize would have to do the same, or they'd have a playoff. This, the putt for the 1-shot win. Barely. Does it have enough? 1 rotation more, and he's got it. The victory for Mize by a single shot over Zoeller, and Mize won the $180,000 top prize. The last of the 4 majors will be next, and British Open champ Greg Norman is certainly looking good on his way to this week's PGA. The seniors in Grand Blanc, Michigan. This, the 16th hole. Bob Murphy 2 shots back until the birdie pulls him within 1 at 11 under at the Bank of Boston Classic. In the 18th rough, the leader, Bob Bentley, in big trouble with the trees as well. But look him punch the approach to the final hole up and onto the green. All he has to do from there is 2-putt to get his first ever win. And his first lag putt, lag's pretty short. Second putt gives him the win. He did it with Murph looking on. Bentley used to be a motorcycle cop, but now he's a senior winner for the first time ever. His payday, $112,500. In Stratton Mountain, Vermont, Dana Laughlin-Dorman birdied the final hole to beat Donna Andrews by a single shot. Her wire-to-wire win was worth 75 G's.
NASCAR's best drivers took on the Glen Sunday afternoon. The road course in western New York gave us another exciting 220-mile test. Mark Martin earning his first ever NASCAR win, but never mind that he started on the pole position. Martin needed to motor from behind at the end. Here we are, right into the action you go. First lap riding with Dorsey Schroeder, and he has nowhere to go. Whoa, not exactly a typical ride to work on Sunday. Oh, some big-time problems. Then Rick Mast loses it here in turn 6. Oh, he's got some problems. He walked away. Okay. Now, 6 laps from the end, another collision that counted. Kyle Petty and Dale Earnhardt go. Bumper cars and big problems for both. Petty thumbs a ride back with Dale Jarrett. They're having some fun, but hey, the guy who had the most fun was Mark Martin. He took advantage of that mishap to take the lead. $98,800 bonus for winning from the pole position. Martin set the track record in winning the pole position Friday, but in order to claim his first win, he needed help from that Petty-Earnhardt crash. Dallenbeck second, Spencer third, and then Elliott and Schrader. At the New England 200 in Loudon, New Hampshire, another pole sitter prevails. Nigel Mansell celebrated his 40th birthday by winning a wild 3-car duel with Paul Tracy and Emmo Fittipaldi. Mansell's 4th win of the season pads his points lead. It's time for us to take a pit stop now. Back in 75 seconds with tennis and the pod.
This may seem like any other day, but it's not. Because now people will be able to talk to one another in a brand new way. That's because across the U.S. and Canada, leading cellular communications companies have joined together to create MobileLink, a new standard in cellular service. So now, whenever you need to stay in touch, MobileLink will make it as simple as a phone call. MobileLink.
Hello? I'm glad you called.
It's simply the way to communicate. To order, call 1-800-995-4000.
Problems. Problems. Solutions, solutions, solutions. Pour Gum-Out fuel system cleaners right in your gas tank, and with just one tankful, you'll get better engine performance. Gum-Out, solutions to engine problems. From the people at Pennzoil.
Beginning Thursday, TBS takes you live to the 75th PGA Championship. Masters winner Bernhard Langer and British Open conqueror Greg Norman lead an elite international field aiming to wrest the crown from defending champ Nick Price. It's golf's final major, the 1993 PGA Championship. Live 4-round coverage begins at noon Eastern Thursday on TBS.
Tennis from the Volvo of Los Angeles. Hello, Michael Chang. Make room on the couch for him. He's playing Richard Krajicek, the one in the white hat. And the big serve. Chang's got to look out there. Wow, that thing was fast. But it was Chang who gave Krajicek the glare and the business in the first set. Chang in the far court answering everything Krajicek can give him. Look at this. Coming up, that's a point for Chang, who goes on to win the first set 6-love, and it looks like Krajicek would be out early. But not so fast. Krajicek now far court. He'd be slamming Chang back. Chang answers. Krajicek slamming him back. Chang answers. Krajicek just getting it out of the way and rallying for a 3-set win, winning the next 2 sets, 7-6, 7-6. Krajicek became the first back-to-back winner of this tournament since Jimmy Connors in 1973 and 74. He won $39,600. And at the Mazda Classic, Steffi Graf came from behind to beat Arantxa Sanchez Vicario. For Graf, her 4th straight tournament title and her 6th of the year. This one worth $75,000 and a new car.
This play of the day moves fast, so don't blink. Hats and goggles off to John Force, who becomes the first funny car driver in NHRA history to ring up 8 wins in a single season. The Force is with us right here at the Jolly Rancher Candies National at Seattle International Raceway, and there he goes from 0 to 287.72 miles per hour in 5.171 seconds, and bring out the parachute. 26th career win. Mr. Force, may our pod be with you.
Play of the day brought to you by Alamo. There are over 4 million miles of roads in Alamo territory, and with Alamo, all those miles are free.
If you travel around the country on business, you've probably noticed that more and more Alamo rent-a-cars are turning up in the best-known business regions. In the Sun Belt, the Grain Belt, as well as inside the Beltway. You see our Cadillacs on Wall Street, our convertibles in Tinseltown, and our LeSabres in the Loop. That's because no matter which belt, corridor, or coast you travel to on business, you're in Alamo territory. With more on-airport locations than ever. Express service coming and going. Low nationwide rates. And of course with Alamo, all the miles are free. Including the ones in places where doing business isn't all business. Alamo, where all the miles are free.
4 teams within 1 game of each other in the American League East. 2 of those teams playing each other in Boston, the Yankees and Red Sox. It should be interesting. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Paul Crane.
And I'm Tom Kirkland. The news continues here on CNN.
This has been a presentation of CNN Sports.
These are the tools of modern business. Tools that provide today's most valuable business commodity, information. The one tool providing the most complete source of information is CNN. CNN covers the world's business like no other network. All weekend. With shows like Your Money, Inside Business, and Money Week. The one tool that delivers business's most valuable commodity, fast and accurate, is CNN.
CNN has a history of award-winning in-depth journalism. Now the best of CNN's reports and specials are featured the first Sunday of each month. an hour of thought-provoking and often riveting documentary television. CNN Presents is a showcase of new and original programming, each month taking a comprehensive look at a major issue affecting our lives. CNN Presents, the first Sunday of each month at 9 Eastern.
I'm Larry King. Don't go away.
This is Style, and I'm Elsa Claims reporting on this.
Welcome to On the Menu, CNN's weekly program.
I'm Stuart Varney reporting from New York. Stay tuned now.
What will it take to survive on the surface of Mars? Come on, Slim.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Showbiz Today.
I'm Valerie Voss. We begin today.
Good evening. Welcome to Crossfire. Who are the...
A world of news and information programs. CNN.
The sizzling sound of Chang's Original Mongolian Grill stirs the heartiest appetites. At Chang's Original Mongolian Grill, you dine buffet style from a sumptuous array of top-grade meats and garden-fresh vegetables. You choose the mix of savory sauces, and Chang's chef will masterfully prepare your meal. Delightful ancient Chinese cuisine to satisfy the most savage appetites for a very civilized price. Lunches or dinner. Chang's Original Mongolian Grill, where every meal is a feast.
You're spending an evening at home with your family. Suddenly, without warning, a burglar breaks into your home. It's a frightening moment, not knowing if the intruder wants to rob you, or worse, hurt you or your wife and children. Now, you can help stop a burglar from breaking into your home with the Door Club. From the makers of the Club family of security devices comes the Door Club. Able to withstand over 2 tons of force, the Door Club's solid steel construction is more effective than standard deadbolts and chain locks. Turned in this position, the Door Club becomes one of the strongest interior locks on the market today. A simple turn this way allows you to view visitors with added safety and caution, giving you the peace of mind you deserve. Protect your family today with the Door Club. Call 1-800-CLUB-321 and order your Door Club today.
Every time you ate, food got underneath them. You'd have to go take them out and brush them. It was a mess.
For Ed and thousands like him, there's a new answer to tooth loss. Dental implants.
I wish I'd known about it 5 years ago. I'd have done it then.
It's a reliable alternative to partial plates or dentures.
I feel better about myself, and it shows in my work.
To learn more about Meridian Dental Implants, call us today at 1-800-4-IMPLANTS.
This is CNN.